All right, hey y'all, it's Bama Law. I'm back again. I thought we would do something cool. First, I would like to show you, if I can get it on here. Here we go. Good stuff. My celiac disease ass having self. I ain't supposed to be having it. This is Paulana München or Münchener Lager. It's a bright lager. Oh, it tastes so good. It smells like a loaf of bread. It's so wonderful when all you eat is like styrofoam and cardboard. I just, it's so good. All right, we're gonna watch a video. I was gonna say see what it's like to do direct and cross examination in court, but the attorney's Ted Bundy, so there's a little bit of a, take that with a grain of salt. It's Ted Bundy. I don't know. See how he did. I think I think it's a little over an hour's worth. It's from the Leon County cases for Chi Omega murders that he did in I think it was 76. Golly, I was born in 77. If I can get my camera to work, that would be great. All right. I think I can get it working. Okay. All right. This, I believe, because he won originally his for his trial to be change of venue for his trial to go to Miami. So they're in Miami County or Miami-Dade, but sitting. It's the same judge for Leon County, which is Tallahassee. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can't get this to go. All right. Here we go. Let's see how lawyers almost released. That is not what should say on there. How do I change that? I don't want that to say that. How do I get that to get off of there? Is there, edit name and headline. Ah, there we go. How a serial killer pretended to be a lawyer. How about that? How a serial killer became a lawyer. I ain't no telling how long I've had that up there. Probably last 3 or 4 videos. Let's see if we can't get this to. Here we go. Yeah, come on, work, man. Here we go. And by the way, please go to Carol DaRonch's YouTube site and subscribe. Thank you. I thought I had already done that. This is, as far as I know, the real Carol DaRonch who survived this brute. I'm going to be nice. Who survived this man? She survived, and I think everyone should go to her site, even if you don't ever watch it. Just click subscribe. She deserves it. She's a brave woman, brave person. Inconsistent statements filing. And she got him convicted in Utah. Just don't forget that. She not only escaped, she got him convicted. I don't know who's this talking.
You've got to be kidding.
Remember, this was a national feed. So I think in the basement there or whatever, they had like good God amounts of cameras and satellites, etc., hooked up outside, and it was a big deal. Bundy was loving it. His narcissism was super into that. and his at times you're going to even see his ASPD come to light, but most of the time you're going to see what a narcissist is. He's it. And a lot of us have clients like this, unfortunately. Oh no, what? I heard somebody say, oh no. I'm wondering if this is one of the lawyers that he fired. So this guy's uniform is, he's Miami-Dade. It's going to be a state guy there.
I can't believe it. Now tonight, my wife was sitting there watching that mosquito. Listen to the conversation.
So old. Man, this is so old.
You don't take much of that yellow juice. I thought I was too old the other day. And again, right now.
Ain't none of them got no armor. Sitting that far away from him.
I thought I was fading out.
All right, let's speed this up a little bit. I think they're going to have a motion argued before court.
Hello to call.
Your Honor, I think that we
There we
can.
go. Now that's a real country judge.
Stipulation. The only thing we wanted
Old school.
was the measurement from the spot where Anita Neary said she was in the foyer to the front door.
Isn't it on our diagram?
It doesn't have a measurement on it.
Dadgum scale.
See something about
Scale, I see
2
it from
inches
here.
equal 1 foot or something.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, sir. I think that we agree that the measurement is 19 and a half.
For you youngins, those are plaques. That's what drafters used to draft buildings and stuff on, like my daddy. Now they do it on pad. Computer equipment, or computer assisted design. Used to, in those days, you had pencil and paper.
Diagram is in evidence.
Great ruler.
2 spots have been marked as best we can ascertain.
All right.
And you can put a footage ruler on there and then read it from it.
All right. And the only other thing, Your Honor, is that we had some pictures of the wallpaper, but I haven't been able to show Mr. Simpson yet. The color of the dark blue wallpaper in the entrance hall there that we wanted to present into evidence, and I need to show them to Mr. Simpson. And Joe Alloway is what they did.
Have you seen them?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I've seen the wallpaper.
I'll let you bring it in out of order and it doesn't make any difference.
Okay. Thank you,
Are we ready to proceed on the next motion?
That's all they got.
sir. That was all I was going to call Mr. Allen for. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's been disposed of.
And then that's all the testimony on the motion to suppress, with the exception of the measure from Mr. Allo and part of the wallpaper.
And the wallpaper, the color of the
All right.
wallpaper. As soon as I get those.
Suppress a
photos from
motion
Mr.
for
Simpson,
evidence
he has
based on
anything.
wallpaper color.
All right.
Really? Oh, wow.
All right, we'll
I've seen a lot.
On the motion to suppress the testimony of Nita Neary, the court has heard the testimony and will hear argument on it at the close of the motion to suppress testimony from Ogden, Utah, I guess, is next one you're going into.
Yes, sir. Granger, Utah.
Granger, Utah, wherever it's at.
This is to
I was
show.
absent today. They were
This
naming those
show
towns,
modus
and I'm
operandi.
Not sure. All right. We'll proceed with that motion then.
They're going to be able to get this in under and get around the prior bad acts for 404B3 in order to. It's the Ted Bundy rule, essentially. They're going to show all these other murders, types, likes, persons. What do they look like? They all look the same. They were all murdered the same way. They were all lured the same way. He did everything the same way, or very similar. And so, while like for instance, Wayne Williams, the the Atlanta child killer, even though he only got, I think in the end, I think convicted of only like 2 or 3 murders. I think it may have been 1. And they wanted him for 30 plus little boys. They were able to show, literally, he got tried for all of them. He only got convicted on the 1 or 2, but all of them made it into trial. So you're not supposed to show prior bad acts, especially like non-relevant bad acts. You know, you can't say, "Oh, well, this guy's a bar brawler. He's clearly a serial killer." That's not going to fly. It's got to have, it's got to be relevant to why you're trying to skirt that prior bad acts rule. And I'll pull up the rule in itself here after we're watching it.
Judge, I realize that the Utah Supreme Court decision that went up after the trial and the appeal and whatnot is not mandatory on the court, but we certainly feel that it's persuasive authority, and we've got a certified copy of that Utah Supreme Court opinion. And they did consider the fact of this particular search that we're talking about, and we would ask that you consider that as our first item of evidence. Y'all have a copy?
Oh, you can hear that girl
This
too
is
typing away.
Has this case cited,
I don't have the site in the reporter, Judge.
December 28, 1978, from the Supreme Court of Utah?
That's correct.
Your Honor, is the introduction of the Supreme Court opinion in Utah by way of argument or evidence?
It's probably both, Mr. Bundy.
All right. Well, we'll be heard on its admission or its significance or lack thereof at argument.
I'm sure you can probably argue anything on that that's
So you could.
appropriate. The question is, during the course of trial, this court would receive the opinion for whatever weight it might have, and will let you consider the argument on the weight or its applicability.
Certainly. At present, though, I would simply register my objection to its introduction on the grounds that it does not address the legality of the search in question.
All right. Let the
He's
record
smart.
reflect the
He's not
court
a
will
dumb
receive it
lawyer.
only for the matters alluded to
Nobody said he was
therein,
stupid.
and if it concerns the question of search, I'll hear the argument as it relates to it's a conflict argument concerning the concept of
All right, let's go to, let me go back here again. All right. This is 404. You'll hear a lot of this in trials. Rule 44, usually 44B3, but, or yeah, 44B3. Think about that for a while. Been a while. Oh, it's been a while. I'm getting old. All right, rule 44, character evidence. Other crimes, wrongs, or acts. Character evidence, prohibited uses. Evidence of a person's character or character traits not admissible to prove on a particular occasion. The person acted in accordance with the character trait. Now, it sounds like that's what they're going to try with Bundy. Hey, well, this guy, he killed this one girl this way. He's doing it again another way. Yeah, but no, it's different. Exceptions for a defendant or victim in a criminal case. The following exceptions apply in a criminal case. A defendant may offer evidence of the defendant's pertinent trait, and if the evidence is admitted, the prosecutor may offer evidence to rebut it. B, subject to limitations in Rule 412 or 412, defendant may offer evidence of an alleged victim's pertinent trait. Not a good place to ever really go. It's just not good. It's just not good to get into victims' pertinent traits, unless it's somebody like, I don't know, Big Billy Badass who you had to shoot because you know he carries stiletto switchblades on him at all times. Maybe, and maybe it's been known to you knew he stabbed in, I don't know, 56 people. I don't know, something like that, and you ran across him and had to unfortunately raise a firearm and protect yourself. Then you might want to try to do it that way. In a homicide case, prosecutor may offer evidence of the alleged victim's trait of peacefulness. This is exactly to my exact point I was making. Peacefulness to rebut evidence the victim was first the aggressor. So in that case, the argument would be that, oh well, he was the first. He was aggressor. I knew he was violent. He was horrible. He carries blades all over his. Every finger has a blade on it. He stabs all kinds of people. And I had to shoot first. Yeah, the state can also try to say, look, we're going to show his traits of peacefulness that he's never been in. He's never been convicted. He's never been in trouble. Now, mind you, the other side's going to say we're going to have 62 people come up and go, that son of a bitch is mean. He stabs everybody. You know, every Friday night he gets mad at the pool hall and he stabs somebody right in the butt. It's a two-way path. All right. Exceptions for a witness. We won't get into Rule 607, 608, or 609. Other crimes, wrongs, or acts. So this is 404B. Okay, this is the B part. Prohibited uses. Evidence of any other crime, wrong, or act is unadmissible to prove a person's character in order to show that on a particular occasion, that on a particular occasion the person acted in accordance with that character. Permitted uses, however, may be useful for another purpose, such as motive. Remember, they don't have to prove motive in murder, but you can get in with that. Opportunity, intent. This is modus operandi. Preparation, planning, knowledge, identity, absence of mistake, or lack of accident. And in a criminal case, they must provide a reasonable notice. They're going to do so. I've never had it sprung on me. Never. It's always the few times that I've even had it done to me as a defense attorney, it's been provided. I've had plenty of notice. It's always never been an issue. Articulate in the notice permitted purpose for which prosecutor intends to proffer it. Do so in writing before trial. Blah 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 blah. Okay, and this is just. I believe this is just the federal rules. I don't think I pulled up Alabama's. This looks like federal. So anyway, it's the same rule. Almost every state has the same rule. It's federal rules toolbox. So they're all the same bullshit, different day. A little bit differences here and there, but just remember 44B3. All right. And what we're concerned here, I've not watched this video, so I have no idea what the hell they're going to say. I just know it's one of the few long blocks of courtroom video we've got. Like I said, that they did this for like 2 damn years, so I don't know where it all went, but I'm guessing it's been destroyed over time. But the biggest one that you have to worry about is well, I just had it. Yeah. B2. All right. 404. I had to count. Gotta count it. Hang on a second. 404. 404B. 2. Am I reading that right? 404. Yeah. Damn, I'm blind. You know, you would think eventually at some point I'd actually have glasses to read from. Maybe. You know, I might have some. God dang it, I do. I'll be. I never get lucky. Did today. Let's see. All right. So, yep, 404. Well, I said that was going to help. I don't think it does. I think it made it worse. Hell, they don't even fit. You're supposed to get them on your face. I hate getting old. This is bullshit. All right. The defendant may offer, let's see, 404. Other crimes wrong prohibited uses. Yep. So it's going to be 404B2. Permitted uses may be admissible for other purpose, such as proving motive, opportunity, intent, preparation, plan, knowledge, identity, absence of mistake, or a lack of accident. That's what I think we're going to see here. These suck. Can't even see a screen with them. Hell, they're only. 2.0s. I guess I need 10. I hate getting old. All right. Let's go back to, let's don't share that one anymore. Let's share the one you actually freaking need to. There we go. Here we go. There's the old judge. You know, that Netflix movie they did on Bundy, it was masterfully done by Zac Efron. It's called something. They said at the end it was shockingly vile, evil. It's the standard for which the death penalty was assessed back then. And everybody in the movie plays a dead, just perfect, except the judge. I don't know why John Malkovich was the damn judge. He was horrible. This boy is a country lawyer who's done well for himself, and Malkovich sounds like some freaking Hollywood troglodyte. Troglodyte. So I don't know. That's just the only. But go back and watch it. It's shocking. Just look up Zac Efron Ted Bundy movie. You'll find it. It's not hard to find. All right, let's see how this one goes. We've got 52 minutes left. And we'll speed it up.
Madam Clerk, I want this marked, and then we want to make a copy of it.
I guess that's going to be somebody coming from Utah to testify.
Witness box and raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Be seated.
And thank you, Judge. And state your full name, please, sir.
Robert Hayward,
Occupation.
Utah State Highway Patrol,
And how long have you been so employed?
26 years.
Do you hold a rank with the patrol?
Sergeant.
Directing your attention back to August 16th, 1975. You recall being on duty on that day?
Yes, sir, I was.
Specifically at 2:30 in the morning that day?
Yes, sir.
You recall pursuing any vehicle at that time?
Yes, sir, I did.
Would you just tell the court in your own words the circumstances surrounding that situation?
Yes, I was stopped in front of my house at approximately 20 minutes to 3 a.m. on that
And he
morning.
is no dialect.
A light colored Volkswagen went by my car there. Several minutes later, I went to assist the Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office on some juvenile drinking problem. I went around the street, and as I turned the street back to my house,
Drinking
I
problem.
threw the lights on bright. The Volkswagen took off at a high rate of speed with no lights on.
At this point, I think it's appropriate to interpose an objection. The
Oh, Bundy.
testimony that the officer may give at this point, we would hold to be immaterial and relevant to the issue of whether the search was legal. In that the circumstances preceding the stop of the vehicle do not, in this instance, reflect on whether or not the intrusion into my vehicle was.
Boy, he's loving this, ain't he? He's loving it.
Objection, we'll overrule it. It's a question of establishment of probable cause. If it has no relevancy, I'll stop.
Your Honor, we would stipulate at this point to sufficient cause to stop the car. The issue is what happened after the car was stopped.
If that's part of the probable cause, I will allow you to proceed, even though the stipulation. Go ahead.
Okay. I gave chase on the Volkswagen, and this went for several blocks through stop signs. Through the subdivision 40, 45, through two stop signs, and then out onto the main road where the vehicle pulled over and stopped in an abandoned gas station. At that time, I approached the driver, and he got out and came back, and we met approximately at the back end of the Volkswagen.
I think you recognize the driver if you saw him again?
Yes, sir.
See him anywhere in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Where-
That's the man right there with Benjamin.
With the what?
That's Kennedy, man.
We have a stipulation.
Mr. Bundy.
We'd have a difficult time if you removed the pin. If you can name 20 miles.
That's the man with the blue shirt on, the coat.
All right.
No, it's Theodore Robert Bundy.
Theodore Robert Bundy.
What happened next?
I asked Mr. Bundy what he was doing in the neighborhood, and he stated he was lost. And I asked him where he'd been, and he stated he was driving movie west of where we were.
So you were lost.
3 or 4 miles.
Lost finding a
He stated
body.
he'd been seeing the Towering Inferno at that theater,
Oh, that's a
which
good
I've been
movie.
Patrolling that area most of the night, and that was not
Steve
a
McQueen.
movie that was planned there at all. Well, anyway, as we stepped back between the cars, there was two other troopers there.
Where were they?
They just pulled up in their car and were sitting there in their car.
They still in the car?
Yeah,
Any show of weapons at this point?
not at all. I asked the other officers there if they would just watch him for a minute, and I looked in Mr. Bundy's car with my flashlight.
Any part of your body break in the window or anywhere to get to see in there?
No.
Did you remain outside the car and looking inside?
Yes, sir. I looked in, the passenger seat was not in there.
Oh,
And,
imagine that.
Just
Check it
looking
out.
through in the car, the passenger
It's like
seat
3
was
bolts
out
and all
and
it
laying on its side in the back seat, which was very peculiar to me. So I walked back to Mr. Bundy and asked him if I could look in his car. And he says, go ahead.
His exact words?
Go inside, open the car door, and looked in his car.
What'd you find?
In back of the driver's seat, there was a small crowbar looking affair, probably 12, 14 inches long. The passenger seat was laying on its side in the back seat. And alongside of the driver's seat was a small satchel. That satchel was open. And I looked in there and I found a ski mask. And
What kind of ski mask?
just a net pulled down over the head type ski mask, standard for what we have in Utah.
Made out of wool?
Yes.
What else?
And there was some rope, an ice pick, and some pantyhose.
What kind of pantyhose?
Uh,
Anything unusual about them?
the pantyhose had holes in them.
Where?
I don't know how to describe it. There were just some holes cut in. And some other items in there I wrote down. A large plastic bag in there. I don't know. That was in there.
Okay, we're not really interested in the other items. We're specifically interested in the pantyhose. If you can give us have you ever seen what's sometimes called a pantyhose mask?
I have, yes.
Is this the type of holes you're talking about?
That would be it.
Would that be consistent with the description of it you've given us?
Yes, sir. It was small, and I did pick it up and look at it, and it had holes in it. Side by
That's
side.
when he got arrested with the
I would
burglary
oppose
tools
objection
in
to the defendant
Utah.
This time, I understand he's serving his own counsel. You missed that one, my friend, but we'll catch them together, all right? Go ahead. Let's restate that consistent with the way it ought to be.
Let's see if I can make it real clear, Judge.
Oh, that's a good one. Let me go back for that.
You have this marked, Madam Clerk.
Let me go back.
Let me see if I can make it real clear, Judge.
It was small, and I did pick it up and look at it, and it had holes in it. Side
You
by
better more
side.
fully describe that. I would interpose an objection to the defendant at this time. I understand he's serving his own counsel. You missed that one, my friend, but we'll catch them together, all right? Go ahead. Let's restate that
We'll
consistent
catch
with the
them
way it ought to be.
together.
Make it real clear, Judge.
They didn't do a good enough description to even identify the piece of evidence.
You have this marked, Madam Clerk.
Bundy wasn't that smart.
This is number what? Show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 1A for identification. I ask you if you can identify that picture.
That is so funny.
That would look exactly or very, very similar to pantyhose that night.
All right. It's
And that's about how a country lawyer judge is going to do you in court.
as you see it there, has it been changed in any fashion from the way you saw it that night?
None of my knowledge.
We'd move it into evidence.
Here, see, without objection.
Poor old clerk.
So that I understand, is this a fair and accurate representation of the pantyhose mask you saw in Utah?
It is.
Judge. During the time that you were looking in the car and looking in that specific satchel, at any point did Mr. Bundy object to that search that was ongoing?
No, sir.
Describe for the court, if you will, the scope of your authority at that time with a law enforcement agency.
He is going over at this point to make sure that there was a probable cause or at least reasonable reason for search search warrant. Blah. He's going into the fact of whether or not the search was done without warrant was okay. And so he's got to identify reasonable suspicion, probable cause, something. Has to be something there. You don't just get stopped and go, "Hey, what's that? What's in that bag?" I don't know. I didn't tell you what's in my bag. Well, it's in the bag. And you just reach in there and I think it's stolen stuff. That's not enough. The time of night, the way he was driving, finding the tools in plain view and stuff, that gets, now once you articulate that reasonable suspicion, you can do a warrantless search. Now you've got to articulate it in court and get it out of your witness. In order that you can get this testimony in that, hey, this guy had burglary tools. We took him to jail for it. And then he tried to run. Then we took him to jail.
In the state of Utah, the highway patrol works straight traffic, very, very little criminal. And if and when we do confront any criminal activity, we immediately call Salt Lake County or the city or wherever we might be working at that time to handle any criminal actions.
Is the Utah State Trooper, as a general situation, authorized to make arrests throughout the state of Utah?
Throughout the state of Utah, yeah.
And what county did this occur in?
Salt Lake County.
What city generally?
Granger.
Who else arrived at the scene? You said 2 troopers were there. How long did it take for them to arrive on the scene?
Just a matter of 2 or 3 minutes. He was there.
Who else arrived after that? Anybody?
I called the sheriff's office and asked for a detective car. 2 uniformed officers showed and stood by, and Deputy Detective Ondrack, Daryl Ondrack, from the county sheriff's office, arrived on the scene.
That's all I have, Jay.
Any cross?
Of course, I got folder upon folder. I'd sit my ass down and just let him go. Keep it out of the damn jury's mind. Here comes the fun.
Is that Sergeant Hayward now? Sergeant Hayward, did you prepare a report based upon the stop and the search that you just testified to? A written report, yes. Do you have it with you?
We have what we call an incident report that we make out.
Yeah. Recorded recollection. Come on. Notice all the papers Bundy has is this lingo.
You haven't used the evidence yet.
But he may do it. And offered it.
It should have been brought in discovery. He didn't even look at it. He just
Did you
wanted
review
to
that report before coming here today?
You bet.
Did you have anything else that you used in preparing for your testimony today by way of refreshing your memory?
Just my reports.
Reports? Is there another report?
Yeah, right here on the back of this, I chopped little notes down the back of things.
May I see that, please?
Yes.
That should have been done in discovery.
Notice, Sergeant, you also have a booking photograph in front of you.
A what?
A photograph in front of you. Would you mind if you could identify whose photograph that is?
That's you.
That's you.
And when we're going back to your incident report, when was that written? I might ask, please.
Just shortly after the incident. See, this was written and filled out on October 14th.
And officer, if there's a conflict between your testimony today and the contents of the report, which would be more accurate?
Jackson, there's been no such
There's
situation.
been no statement of inaccuracy. You do have some discrepancies in there. Questioning first on the discrepancy.
Sergeant Hayward, let's begin with the stop of my vehicle on August the 15th. Would you
Mind you,
please
this is an
tell me
issue
what
that's in
happened
a whole nother state this
after
took place
you
in.
pulled the Volkswagen over in Granger?
They're in Florida
What happened?
questioning
What did
about a
you do and what did
Utah
the
incident.
occupants, what did I do?
You stepped out of your Volkswagen and
Question is, should it even be allowed? Is it relevant? And if it is, how is it relevant? Because they want to be able to show these burglary tools, I imagine, and his modus operandi was used in other events. So we'll see how it goes.
I stepped out of the patrol car, and we met approximately the 380 Volkswagen.
Please describe the vicinity where you had stopped the Volkswagen, the type of neighborhood, the type of area that stop occurred in.
There was an abandoned gas station.
Yes. Describe the lighting in the vicinity, or in that particular spot where you stopped the Volkswagen. Was it bright? Was it dim? Was it dark?
Well, there's some lights in the area. I wouldn't call it exceptionally light.
What time of day was it?
Pardon?
What time of day was it?
This was approximately 2:45 a.m.
Was it dark out?
Yes, it was.
Was there a lot of traffic on the road at that time?
Not too bad, no.
How would you describe the traffic conditions in the vicinity on the street where you stopped the Volkswagen? A lot of traffic, very little traffic, no traffic.
Little traffic that time of the morning.
All right, what was the first question, or what was the first thing you said to me when you got out of your car?
I asked for your driver's license and registration.
You remember comments you made previous to that? Previous to asking me for my driver's license?
No, I can't recall one.
Do you remember whether or not you told me that I should have got out and run, that you could have taken my head off? Do you remember saying that? Prior to asking me for my driver's license, do you remember saying something to the effect that I should have gotten out and run, you could have taken my head off?
No, sir, I don't recall that.
You don't recall that? And what did I do after you requested the driver's
Good
license?
luck on that one,
You
Bundy.
give me a driver's license and registration of the vehicle.
And what did you do?
I read them and asked if that's still where you lived and resided on the avenue, and you said yes.
Were there other officers on the scene at that time? The time I gave you my driver's license?
I'm not sure they was there right then or shortly after.
And was there anybody with me in the Volkswagen?
No, you were alone.
And before I forget to ask the $64,000 question, did you have a search warrant to search my car?
No, sir.
After you verified
I knew it was coming.
that the address was current, that you had a current Utah driver's license from me, what did you do, officer?
I placed you by my right front fender.
He's trying to say he didn't have any probable cause or reasonable suspicion to do a warrantless search. Well, dummy, it helps when you leave your damn burglary tools sitting down on a damn seat and you remove the seat. It wasn't exactly the sharpest tool in the shed, but it's scary to see what these guys can do when they put their mind to it.
And asked the other officer to watch you for a minute while I flashed a light in your car.
You asked another officer to watch me?
Mhm.
You remember the name of that officer?
There was one was named Brent Fowles.
What was the purpose of asking that officer to watch me?
Would you believe I did trust you?
You didn't want me to run away, is that what you're saying?
Probably.
Was I free to leave at that point?
I would doubt that.
Was I, well, the alternative, was I in custody at that point? Your custody?
No.
Yeah, you placed me in the, I think you were custody. You told Officer Fowles to watch me, and then you did what?
I went back and shined a light in your car.
Kind of light.
Flashlight.
Describe to me where you shine the light.
So in case you were wondering, I was eating a fake piece of pizza with fake pepperoni because I don't eat pork. And then fake bread because I have celiac disease. And so now I'm washing that down with more Paulaner real beer with tons of gluten in it. Gluten, make your Jimmy shoot off in South Park.
Where you first use light, how you examine the car with a flashlight?
Yeah, I just shined a light in the windows and took a look at what I could see from the window, the crowbar and the seat in the back. The passenger seat was on the back seat, and I could see that through the windows.
What window did you start with first? The rear window, the passenger side window, the driver's side window, do you recall?
It seemed like I was on the driver's side window first, and when I placed you back by the fender, I went back on the passenger side window.
You're showing your flashlight inside the car, and could you describe to me as much detail as you can recall exactly what you saw and what order, if you can recall, what you saw.
I saw a small crowbar behind your seat on the floor, and I saw the passenger seat in the back seat on its side, and
Just wait until if you think he's doing good. If you think he's good now, wait till I find the when he cross-examines. I may not have time to do it on this one, but he cross-examines the detective of one of the homicide scenes. He's literally reliving it. You can see. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, the judge has to stop part of it, but it gets sick. So love that 60s architecture flowing over to the 70s there. That mosaic. It's, God, it reminds me of a morgue. Ugh.
small satchel along the side of the driver's seat.
It's a small satchel on the side of the driver's seat. What side of the driver's seat? Left or right? On the right
Right-hand
side?
side.
Describe to me the satchel as you saw it.
Well, it wasn't a big one. It was probably maybe 14, 15 inches long, and it was more small and round. 6 or 8 inches in depth, something similar to that.
What color was it?
I thinking it was kind of a brownish color.
Have you seen that brown satchel since the stop on August the 15th?
No, I have not.
All right. What else do you recall about the satchel? When you were shining the flashlight into the car and looking at the contents of the interior of the car?
You must listen to me on that. Yes, again?
We've got you shining the flashlight in, let's say, the passenger side window. Is that what you saw? You first recognized the brown satchel when you're shining the flashlight in? What you described as being a satchel about so big and so deep, testimony reflects it was brown. What else was there about it?
It was open.
And what did you see inside?
Well, after I got permission from you to go inside,
At that time, with the flashlight,
that's all I saw.
just the brown satchel. Is that correct? Just the
That's
flashlight.
right.
Let's back up just a little bit. I want to make sure that you are able to relate as much detail as possible the conversations that transpired between.
I have
yourself
never
and me.
noticed
We had
how
discussion
loud
according to your testimony
the
about
stenographer's
driver's
keys
license.
were back then. That's why some of them you'll
And
see
also your testimony that
have a mask and
discussion about
talking
my
talking
whereabouts
at
took place
other than typing.
in the early, just after I was stopped.
I know now.
Yes.
Now, what was
Loud as
your-
hell.
What was your question when you want to know? You recall the exact question you asked me?
I asked you what you were doing in the neighborhood.
Is that the question you asked? Nearly as you can remember?
What was you doing in my neighborhood? Is that better?
That sounds, look at, we're getting there, officer. Was it, is that better? Is that closer to what you remember saying? What were you doing in my neighborhood?
Objection argument. Argument.
I'm not-
Yeah, arguing with a witness. Come on
Does
now.
would it help you to
Refresh your recollection?
of the report?
No. Dumbass. It's from like 4 years earlier.
I don't have the exact wording down here.
And he probably didn't write that down.
Now, what, if you can recall, was the next thing you said to me or that I said to you after we had the discussion? Well, pardon me, let's back up to a question you asked, what are you doing in my neighborhood, okay? What was my response according to you?
You were lost.
Did I say anything else?
Not to my recollection.
That time, I didn't say anything else to your recollection.
You said you was lost.
And what else did, if anything, did we discuss that time that you can remember? Questions that you might have asked, for example.
I asked where you'd been, and you told me that the drive-in theater was in the Towering Inferno.
That occurred about the same time, and
Maybe it's all right.
the stream of
Staying
events we're
Queen's
talking
always
about.
good, though.
Probably a couple, 2 or 3 things there.
Was that before you started shining your flashlight in the windows?
That was before.
Now, were you familiar with any drive-in theater in the neighborhood?
Yes, I am.
Did you know whether or not the driving movie was playing there
Yes, I did.
at that time?
Yes, sir.
What did you know?
I sent the one trooper back out to check the marquee
When did you send him out?
while we were still there or immediately following.
So you didn't know for sure that that movie was not playing there at that time. That's what I'm getting at. Is that true? No.
No, I was sure, but to make positive in my own mind, I've been patrolling that movie in that area most of that night.
Okay, what's the next question that you asked, or response that I gave you prior to the time that you started examining the interior of the car with your flashlight? Is there anything else you said to me?
Not that I recall.
Anything else I said to you?
Before I,
Left me at the rear or the front of your car with Officer Fowles and you began examining the car. Anything else you can recall?
no, the only recall is I asked you to stand by my right front fender.
Let's return now to your.
I'd be interested to know what he's trying to get him to admit to.
You've described crowbar, seat being out, and the satchel. Is there anything else in the interior of the car that caught your attention?
The expectation of privacy in a car is not the same as a
Those are the main
home.
things that I saw.
Okay. What did you do after you?
There's a lot of ways around
Sure.
warrant
Looking in the
or
car.
warrant searches.
That's why I called for a detective car from the county.
Okay. And how did you summon the detective car?
A radio.
Why did you summon it?
Sustained objection. Well, that's not considered why
You summoned it by radio,
Yes.
I don't know what the judge said.
and this was it a Salt Lake County Sheriff's detective that you summoned?
Yes, sir.
Do you know the name of the officer that you called for a specific detective?
No, I just asked for a detective car.
Well, after you told me to stand by the front of your car with Officer Fowles, when was the next time you had occasion to talk to me or ask me a question?
When
Chronologically, when was the next time you asked me anything? Or I talked to you?
when I come back to ask you if I could look in your car.
Okay, now when did you come back to ask me that question? When? Again, we're proceeding is step by step through this procedure.
What part of my
When
foot
did you
was in
approach me?
front of the other one?
To ask me that question.
I looked in,
I want to know what my foot was doing in front of the other one, and what position in the axis of the earth was I located when I asked you for this. That's a dumbass question.
Representation of what you said to me that
And all he's doing is trying to delay. This should have been done over with.
to the best of your recollection, then you asked me if you could look at my car.
Same objection.
Same objection, asked and answered.
Was there any
Yes.
response?
Damn, hell, I'm not even there and I'm
Yes.
doing it.
And to the best of your recollection, and I want you to try to recall the aid of your reports if necessary, the exact words that you recall me saying to in response to that question.
go ahead. That was your word for me.
Is Officer Fowle still with you?
No,
Were there any other officers still at the scene?
no, when the deputies got there, the other officers left.
Or the deputies there now? At the time you asked me, can I look in your car, what police officers were on the scene? How many were there and where were they from, if you can recall?
There were two state troopers when I asked you that.
Were they standing within earshot? Did they hear what you said?
I don't
If he knows.
If you know.
believe so. In fact, they were both sitting in a car
And when you asked me that question, where was I standing?
by my right front fender.
I was still where you told me to go, is that right?
Correct.
Oh my God.
After that exchange, Officer Hayward, what did you do?
Y'all, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this.
After I asked you if I could look in your car.
I wanna
went back
kill
and
some
passed through the
bitch.
side door and looked in your car.
You looked in it?
Yes, sir.
And where did you search the car, officer?
I looked at the seat, the crowbar, and I looked in the satchel.
You looked in the satchel. And how did you examine the satchel? What did you do with the satchel?
The satchel was open a few inches, and I looked in it, and I picked a few things out and looked in it with a flashlight.
You had a flashlight with you? And can you give me a detailed description of the items you saw in the satchel?
Let's see, with a,
You're
with
refreshing.
a rope, piece of rope, some wire, an ice pick, plastic bag, ski mask, silk stocking. That's what I got down as being the contents of your.
What if it was
satchel.
nylon stocking? How do you know it's silk, officer? I'm surprised he didn't say that.
Did you notice anything peculiar at that time about, if there was anything peculiar at that time about the quote silk stocking, close quote?
Just that it had holes in it.
Bundy, you're making your case worse. Shut up. See, he's got to pontificate to show how, look at how good of a lawyer he is. In my Seattle
Did you do anything
Mariners
special with the
sweatshirt.
Stocking?
Did I?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
How did you determine there were holes in it? You just happened to see holes in it?
Just looked at it. I didn't examine it or anything in there closely.
Have you seen that stocking
He's
since
reliving it.
August 15th,
There's the way he touches
1975?
those pictures.
Jackson, you're on.
Oh, really? Have you seen that stocking that you saw in the brown satchel since August 15th, 1975?
Yes.
Where?
Here.
In this courtroom?
No, an evidence bag.
Well, now we got a whole nother issue. How in the hell did he get
When you
from
look at
there to
this
here?
photograph marked as State's Exhibit
Got to have chain of custody.
number
It
2.
might have been
You tell me
contaminated with.
that- whether or not that is for sure the same silk stocking that you saw in the brown satchel on the day in question?
I'll say it's similar.
Good answer.
Did you place any initials or anything on that, on the silk stocking itself?
No, sir, when I ran into that stuff, that's when I called for detective car.
So you called the detective car after you made the initial intrusion into the vehicle. Then is that this, at that time, is that when you decided to call the detective car?
Intrusion.
Yes, sir.
Thanks again to Carol
What had you
DaRonch for
stopped
posting
me for?
this.
On the morning of
God
August
bless
15th,
you, hon.
1975.
What did I stop you for?
Yes, sir.
Failure to stop with the commanding police officer.
And in Utah, what kind
It'd
of?
been really funny if it had said, why'd you stop me? Because you are a son bitch. And I wanted you to stop. And that would have been funny. Especially if we could get like Jackie Gleason from Smoking the Bandit up there. That would be, oh, well, anyway, that would be funny. Sometimes you think about stuff like that when you're in court and you're bored. 'Cause here I am watching the evilest, well, not the evilest, one of the most evil men in history. I guess some could argue even Genghis Khan was, but I mean, in our lifetimes. And, yeah, you still go thinking, you still think weird stuff like that. It'd be funny if it was Jackie Gleason sitting there, Sheriff Buford D. Justice. This is what it is. So it's a weird thing that I like to point out sometimes that most lawyers will never admit to. Oh no, we're always paying total attention, and being total zealous advocates for our clients. Yeah, okay. Yeah, everybody gets bored.
I will listen in.
You not even to me. You finished. Well, let's get back to what you're doing inside the car. You just testified a few minutes ago that you examined the contents of the satchel. Where did you go in the car next?
Every minute that he does this is one more minute of his life that he gets to live. He not only relives the events, he not only feels superior because he thinks he's now a lawyer, which being a lawyer, he's doing it. That's what he's doing. You too can do it. You just wouldn't. He's studying everything and he's learning to sell. It's not that complicated. I think he did a year of law school, which back then, a lot of law schools still gave out what's called LLBs, Letters of law baccalaureate. You went 2 years of undergrad and then 2 years of law school. And then as lawyers had to be just as good as medical doctors and get Juris Doctorates. All it did is just make more damn money. It's another scam. Parents pay for another year of education. Well, they pay for another 3 years because they pay for another 2 years for the undergrad and then a year for law school, extra year. It's a complete scam. Anyway, I'm off the high horse. Let us continue.
Search of anywhere.
I did.
What did you do?
I came back and called the county detective car.
You used your police car radio call?
Yes, sir.
Did you have any conversation with me just prior to or after calling the detective's car?
After the detective car was called, and if I recall right, I didn't write that down. I placed you under arrest.
That time I was placed under arrest?
I believe they was there then.
Under what charge?
Evading.
Oh, he sure is reliving.
How did you place me under arrest?
Objection irrelevant.
What did you say to me?
It's
What
irrelevant.
did you say to me? You said you placed me under arrest. Was there communication value to me that you placed me under arrest?
Objection irrelevant. A little bit past the search now, Judge.
Well,
Being tied up. I don't know.
Clerk, proceed with the investment, but it's based on testimony I've heard.
but it did not precede the seizure, Your Honor.
All right, so you tied it up.
Let me get this from you. Sergeant, did you take in your possession at the time you initially entered the car, any of the items in the car?
I did not.
And so you hadn't seized anything from the car at that time, had you? You hadn't seized any of the items you saw on the Volkswagen, did you?
No, sir.
Oh, my daughter's playing with my hair.
At the time you placed me under arrest, how long had it been since the initial stop occurred?
Just want a ballpark figure?
Best estimate you can give us.
My child is grooming me for
15
bugs.
minutes? Something like that.
Hey, you're right there. You're on camera. Yeah, you're gonna kill the. I'm gonna have to kill the video.
Yeah, can we approach the man? Really quick.
You want to report?
Yes, please.
Uh-oh. She's messing with my hair now. I done messed up. What happened? Let me rewind here. Don't ever pass those chances up, y'all. That lets your child play with you and love on you. Let's see. What is?
Yeah, can we approach the man? Really quick.
You want to report?
Yes, please.
I don't even know if he knows why.
$15 minutes? Something like that.
Yeah, can we approach the man? Really quick.
You want to report?
Yes, please.
Oral court reporter. God, for him to be that close. Man, that judge had to have balls. Man. Do not ask something. That's all I heard.
Stated earlier that you placed me under arrest. I'd like to ask the question again. How did you go about placing me under arrest?
I told you he was under arrest for evading a police officer. I took you and handcuffed you and placed you in my car.
Is that all?
Yes.
Immediately placed me in my car, or your car, excuse me.
I placed you in my car.
Subsequent to placing me in my car, your car, did the sheriff's detective arrive?
They were there.
And what happened when the sheriff's detective arrived? Let me ask you this. Who was the sheriff's detective who arrived on the scene?
Deputy on track.
And what happened when he arrived?
He looked at paraphernalia, the tools and the different things in there, and he confiscated and brought everything back. And I remember you and him telling you what he was going to do. He was going to take everything out of your car, and if it constituted that the county attorney would give him a complaint for possession of burglary tools, that he would get the complaint and be in contact in the next couple of days.
recall any remarks, if any were made from me in response to that.
You said something to the effect that that's fine.
Most states,
You think
it's
you-
illegal to
you
have
said-
burglary
you said you thought I
tools.
said something like that? You recall that remark being made, is what I'm asking you, or is it something you thought might have been said?
What the hell it means, I
By
don't know.
me.
No, you said that.
Could be a lot of things. Screwdriver and a hammer.
Officer, after you had examined the interior of my car on that occasion with your flashlight, your testimony as you went back and asked me, "Oh, can I look in your car?"
Objection, repetition.
What I'm trying to
It is
do,
repetition. Please state your question.
sir, my question is, Officer Hayward, can you recall what the reason was that you asked that question? Why did you come back and ask me that question?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Why he asked it? It is relevant. I don't know why he might have asked it. It's a question of its legal impact. His particular reason for asking the question is not significant, Mr. Bundy, as it's compliance with the law. He might simply have been curious. He might have been a lot of things. Those things I don't think are probative. It's a question of the fact for the court to determine the impact of the question, not why a particular police officer asked.
If I might be heard on that point, I don't think it needs to be heard, be set out of the hearing of the witness. Isn't it also an issue, Your Honor, of the knowledge, facts, and circumstances within the knowledge of the officer who initiates the search as to whether or not he has justification?
Well, his subjective justification is not the measure, Mr. Bundy. It's the objective interpretations as held by the court based upon his actions and what was said. That's the reason for it.
Did you say anything to Officer Ondrak when he arrived on the scene concerning the vehicle and the subject you had in custody? Did you say anything?
I can't recall a specific conversation. I must have pointed out these different items.
Is there anything in your report or reports that would refresh your memory?
No, I have nothing in there of conversations with that beyond that.
Did the search continue after I was placed under arrest? The search of my car, did it continue after you placed me in your vehicle?
I believe it went on.
What areas of the car were searched?
Objection, Your Honor.
Well,
Now you can see
What
my
areas of
ugly
the car
face
were
and my white beard.
It seems
I feel bad for this old man.
there was the two officers that were in uniform.
No, that's it. No, no, I was just getting into it. Wow. Dang, man. Yeah, that's it on that. We will pick up with another one at a later time. Okay. Thanks, y'all. Hit subscribe, like, comment, send me dirty emails. I don't care. Thanks.